Well, hi, hello, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to Front Porch Brunch, our weekend gathering where we get together, we talk about the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense out of this crazy thing we call life. Had to do a hat adjustment. Thank you very much for being here. Good morning to everybody. We got a good crowd settling in. Thank God for that. You guys are totally awesome. Thank you so much for being here on a Saturday morning. Why do I have a feeling this might be a problem at some point? Hang on. There's one part of it. There's the other part of it. Okay. Problem solved. See, you got to be able to do things on the fly. Woohoo! Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Glad to have you guys here this morning. It's good to be here. The sun is shining. Zehina says, I found you, WWG. Wait a minute. I thought you were talking to me. You can talk to him if you want to, but still, I mean, thanks a lot, Z Highness. Nah, I'm just kidding, girl. You know I love you. Anyway, glad to see all y'all here this morning. Great to have you in the house. Again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative. I'm sometimes called the cat in the hat, the kid in the lid, the beau in the chapeau, the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, I am one thing above all else, your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please do me some favors, as always. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Number 2, hit the bell for notifications. Let's make sure you're always aware when things are coming out. Number 3, hit that thumbs up button right now. Do it. As you hear the sound of my melodious voice, hit that thumbs up button. And hit that thumbs up button. And while you're at it, leave a comment and chat and tell everybody how much you love being a part of Fedora Nation. And finally, share the link around to your friends who maybe don't know about this channel yet. And they're like, I really wish I could go somewhere and get some cheesy jokes and some real news. Well, you have found just the right place for that, my friends, because daggone it, I am cheesy. And I will also give you news. So where else can you go and get this combination on the internet? I tell you what. All right. Let's see who all is here this morning. We'll start over on Rumble. The OG Wingnuts are assembling. WWG1 is already in the house. He's been dropping memes like a mad bomber from an airplane during war, to be understood in that context. Let's see. Z Highness is in the house. Mwah, hello, baby. Good to see you, darling. Mr. Scott Awesome is here. Hello, Mr. Scott Awesome. Glad to have you among us. So yeah, it looks like the OG Wingnuts are settling in. They look feisty this morning. They look feisty. Mr. Scott Awesome says, extra cheese on that news, please. Well, we'll see what we can do for you, sir. We will see what we can do. All right. Who all is over on the YouTube and the Twitter side of life? Let's check this out. Hello again. You're just going for double kisses. That's what you're doing. See how you are. TBA is in the house. All right. You're not late. TBA, as a member of the OG Wingnuts, you're not late, nor are you early. You arrive precisely when you mean to. So you're good, dude. You're good. Robert Lowry is in the house. Good morning, sir. A fist bump in your general direction. We're going to be talking about Erika. Don't you worry about that. We're going to be talking about her. Adam Worrell, our favorite crazy Canadian, has come down from the Great North. He's here with us this morning. Let's see who else is here. Miss Gypsy is in the house. Mwah! And a fist bump to Adam. All right, who else have we got here this morning? Oh, my God. Okay, popping over from the Unite the Kingdom rally. If anybody has got links on that, do me a favor. I'm not going to lie to you starting out. I've been so wrapped up trying to do analysis and gathering clips on this, the continuing aftermath of the Charlie Kirk assassination, Erika Kirk's speech last night, a few other things. If you guys have got some totally positive or even quasi-positive stories, then you'd like me to do a few in HodgePodge Stew, shoot me a link on Twitter, especially about that Unite the Kingdom rally over in Great Britain. That's popping off big. People at the rally say there could be 3 million people in attendance. Holy cow. Holy cow. Lana is in the house this morning. Mwah, you gorgeous thing, you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Anybody else? All right, I think we got about everybody covered. All right, good to see all you guys this morning. It is Saturday morning. That means Front Porch Brunch. That time when we decompress from the stresses of our week. There is a chance for us to gather our wits, pull our brains together, sit down on the electronic front porch, talk amongst ourselves, give our opinions about everything, and if nothing else, continue the legacy of the late Charlie Kirk. Let's talk. If there was any, I mean, you could use almost any verse from the Bible, and describe Charlie Kirk's life accurately. But there is one, I believe it's in the Old Testament, and it's part of a verse. It says, "Come, let us reason together." And if there's anything that summed up Charlie Kirk's life, it might be just that snippet of a Bible verse. Come, let us reason together. So let us reason together this morning. Let's try and love each other. Let's love on each other. Give electronic hugs wherever needed. Encouraging words of admonishment where needed. And let's try and make it through this crazy thing we call life. And to that end, part of life is you have to be able to laugh. And we held off Thursday night, given what happened with Charlie Kirk out in Utah. But we're back this morning with some memes. And I want to thank Adam, and I want to thank WWG1 and others who have contributed to the Merry Memes this morning. So we're going to start in with that and go right on from there. So that said, you're driving along, you see all kinds of different road signs out there. Some make perfect sense. Some make no sense whatsoever. And then there's some that give you pause and you go, should I really be driving on this road? That said, let me ask you guys a question. If you saw this particular road sign, would you have reason to be nervous? I mean, I don't know about you, but, if something goes wrong with my car and I get out to check it out, change a tire, whatever, do you really want to look up, see a sign like this and go, I don't know, should I really be here, man? I don't know. I was like, oh, Lord. I don't know, man. I don't know. So if you see this kind of a road sign, be afraid. Be very afraid. That's all I'm telling you. Oh, my word. Just crazy. Just crazy. Oh, my gosh. Nuts. Hang on a minute. Trying to get, okay, there we go. All right. Trying to get Rumble up to speed. All right, there we go. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but if I see this kind of a road sign right here, I'm checking out. I'm going to keep on driving until I get to where I've got to go. I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Robert, you might be right, my friend. That might be it might be even an Australia sign. Yeah, crazy Aussies. Where's my friend Daniel Clancy when I need him? Now, Clancy's the one I ought to be asking about that sign. Because you know, down there in Australia, they probably got some skeeters that are about that big. Just saying. All right. What? All the reason more not to visit Australia. All right. What else have we got in the way of the Merry Memes? Okay. As you all are aware, Robert Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services, who, by the way, I think is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Hang on. We got a Clancy sighting. Mr. Scott Awesome says, Clancy has been going to the Australia rallies doing live stream. Really? I did not know that. Hey, somebody do me a favor. If you're kind of tight with Clancy, assuming he's even awake, it might be too late, but if he's even awake, let him know I'd like to talk to that son of a gun. If he's been live streaming from some Australia rallies, I want to hear about it. So there you go. There you go indeed. Progman76 is over on Rumble. Good morning, sir. Glad to have you in the house, but I think you're working as a double agent. I know who you are. Just saying. Anyway, back to Bobby Kennedy Jr. He's been doing a lot of good work. As you guys know, his Department of Health and Human Services has been investigating all kinds of things. You know, the relationship of certain food dyes to maybe disease, questions about acetaminophen and how it relates to increases of autism, etc., and so on. Well, apparently he's now opened up a new investigation, and frankly, this is one that I think is long overdue. Word is reaching out to everybody that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is going to be doing an investigation into blue hair dye. Apparently, there are some people that are making the statement that it may have something to do with mental illness, and Kennedy's finally had enough. He's like, all right, we're going to look into this. Sorry, that's poor man's RFK Jr. impersonation. But yeah, apparently Bobby Kennedy Jr. is going to be doing an investigation of the causal relationship between blue hair dye and mental illness. So, yeah. There you go. There you go, my friends. I tell you what, if ever you wondered what impact Bobby Kennedy Jr. might be making on America, look, if he does something about this, hey man, put him on flipping Mount Rushmore, okay? That's all I'm saying. If we can knock out mental illness by banning blue hair dye, I'm here for it. Okay? I'm just saying. Woo! It's a crazy morning, y'all. Just crazy morning. All right, what else do we have in the way of meme news? Oh, now, look, I mean, in all seriousness, let's be perfectly honest about this. And perfectly serious. The last 3 or 4 days have been very rough on everybody, and understandably so. But everybody is going through their own form of troubles. I mean, believe it or not, even Nancy Pelosi is going through her own set of issues. She recently was being interviewed by the press, and she released a statement about how things are going for her. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think too well. Check this out.
Well, ever since I left Congress, my trades are shit. I can't get any insider information anymore, and these fuckers won't tell me anything anymore. So I've been drinking a lot more. My husband's still in love with a homeless hammer guy, visiting him in jail and shit. So it hasn't been easy. Okay.
Look, and that apparently is straight off of Nancy's TikTok page, so you know it's got to be the truth. Oh, man. Oh, good. Oh, my God. I have not seen you in forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Crash Mondo. Follow this good man on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him wherever you may find him. Absolutely one of the best dudes out there. Oh, good Lord. I have not talked to you in ages, brother. You guys shoot me a DM, and we got to catch up sometime because I have questions. But, yeah, where have you been, you son of a gun? Yeah, poor Nancy sent her some ice cream. Oh, no, you can't do that. You're taking away from Joe's stash. Don't you know the Democrats don't believe in an expanding sized pie? Oh, goodness me. So Crash Mondo is sending over a meme on. Here it comes. Maybe. Let's see. Nah. Okay, not yet. Not yet. It's not here yet. But I'm looking for it. Mm-mm. Goodness me. Oh, my gosh. Hang on. Am I This thing says I've got a message. I don't see it yet. Maybe. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Hang on a minute, folks. We gotta do this right. Somebody asked the question in chat. Hang on a minute. I gotta find this now. Somebody asked the question in chat. Crash Mondo, where have you been? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is safe to say that who was that asked that question? Yeah, it was Z Highness asked the question. Crash, where have you been? Oh, friends, I think I know exactly where he's been. Give me one moment and I'll tell you. So, yeah, I think Crash Mondo, like many of us, yeah, this is where Crash has been. And now he's back. There you go. There you go indeed. Crash Mondo, glad to have you in the audience. And brother, we are glad you are back. Absolutely glad you are back. Indeed. Indeed. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, goodness me. Good to have you in the audience this morning, sir. That's all I can tell you. Gosh. All right. What else do we have in the way of the Merry Me? Now, look, a lot of news obviously has been focused around, what happened to Charlie Kirk, but remember last week we were talking about that baseball game down in Florida between the Phillies and the Marlins, and that crybaby Karen of a Philadelphia fan, she tried to horn in on a beautiful father-son moment by trying to claim a baseball. Well, I knew this thing was going to go viral all over social media, but I did not realize it would get all the way up to the White House. Apparently, President Trump has now commented on this, and as usual, he does it in his own unique Donald Trump sort of style. And we have this message from the President of the United States. Hang on, folks. We'll let you guys hear it in his own inestimable way.
There was an old lady who lived in a shoe, and if you're a kid on your birthday, she'll steal a home run ball from you. And while many may believe this behavior is silly, it's actually quite common if you're a sports fan from Philly. The nasty old Karen wanted the baseball so bad, she ran through the whole stadium and berated the dad. And the dad gave up the ball to the dismay of his boy. The Karen did what Karens do. She stole all the joy. Both teams and their fans saw her wreck all the fun. Everyone who witnessed it knew what must be done. The Marlins sent a gift bag, and a short while later, the boy and his family met Harrison Bader. The nasty old Karen was booed out of the game, and now the whole world will soon know her name. From her hair to her glasses to her life that is so barren, the moral of the story is don't be a Karen.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is now weighed in on this Karen controversy in Florida. So there you go. There you go. It is amazing the things that come to Donald Trump's attention and what he will and will not talk about. So I don't know how he does it. I don't know how Donald Trump finds the time to focus in on so many different issues. It's just amazing to me. Absolutely amazing indeed. Now, I want to apologize to you guys because we tried to bring you as much footage from that whole Philadelphia Karen incident as we could. However, I kind of feel remiss. I don't feel like some of it was the best work we could have done. However, always in an effort to try to redeem our work here on the Electronic Front Porch, we managed to get a close-up shot of the Philadelphia Karen, that's what we're calling her, at her the look on her face immediately after. Well, now that may be true, Robert. That may be. Well, apparently, poetry, I guess, focuses his ability to articulate. I mean, I guess Trump works from the theory if I've got to put it into a poetic rhyme, it just helps me express it better. I don't know, man. It may be true. Maybe true. But we got a picture of the Philadelphia Karen immediately after she got her hands on that baseball. And let me tell you something, folks. I don't know about you guys, but I think there's something wrong with this. I mean, look at this woman. She looks almost, I don't even know what you call her. Okay. Seriously, what do you call this kind of a look on someone's face? I mean, are you that hard up in your life that if you steal a baseball from a little boy, you get this kind of look? I mean, what's the matter with you? Seriously. My gosh. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, look, if you feel like, you know, your life is made better by stealing a little boy's baseball, that's fine. But just understand something. You could wind up looking like this. And ladies, you Karens out there, I just have a question. Is it really worth it to you? A stolen baseball from a little boy. My face looks like this. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Crazy. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, and by the way, one more thing about the Philadelphia Karen. Apparently, this isn't the only time she's done this stuff. Okay? By this stuff, I mean getting a scrum, try to get a baseball, couldn't do it. Walked over to somebody who had a baseball and took it out of their hands. Apparently, she's been doing this stuff for years, and not just at baseball parks, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an image here from some years ago to give you an idea how far back this goes. She's been doing this kind of stuff all over the country. I mean, look at this. Apparently, she was out in Iowa, and look at this guy. This guy is standing here. He's caught himself a baseball, and here she comes. You can see her in the background, running up. She's got her finger pointed out. She got her mouth open. Yeah, she's trying to steal this guy's baseball. Now, I don't know how many years ago this was. I mean, some people say this goes back to the 1980s, but I'll tell you what. If she's been doing this stuff for that long, somebody needs to get this woman some help. That's all I'm saying. I mean, honey, if you've been doing this for that long, just give it up, okay? Ain't no wonder you look like you just did in the previous picture when you get a hold of a baseball. If this is what it does to you, and you've been doing it for this long, oh, honey, you just need some help. That's all I'm saying. You just need some help. Yeah, well, yeah, I'd call it the Field of Screams. Absolutely, man. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I meant. God, y'all are awful. Absolutely awful. Now, wait a minute, Robert. I don't know if she was involved in the Louisiana Purchase or not. Look, I mean, she might be old, but I don't know if she's that old. I mean, seriously, buddy? Lord almighty. Hang on. TBA just dropped in something. Oh, my God. Now I'm scared. Hang on a minute. Hang on, guys. TBA's just dropped in a meme. Let's see what this is. Well, this could get real interesting real quick. Okay, hang on. Let me set this up. TBA has just brought us a lesson in economics. he passed on something that I don't know. Look, everybody is trying to find ways to save money, even though we're trying to work this thing out, and Trump's doing his best to get inflation under control and wages to go up, etc. But I don't know if these folks are doing maybe the most economically wise thing possible. Yeah, TBA, I think you're right. It's not just a matter of economics, it's mathematics, geometry, maybe even some calculus. Folks, have you ever wondered how you can save money at your local laundromat if you have to go out and do laundry? Well, these ladies may have found a way. Check this out. Okay, to the ladies at this laundromat, I have 2 words for you. Stanley Steamer. Okay? I love you. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but bless your hearts, just Stanley Steamer that thing. Oh, Lord. Maybe my wife can loan them our hose. I don't know. Oh, God. Y'all are awful. Just awful. Oh, my goodness. Lord have mercy. Thank you, TBA, for that one. Man, I tell you what, this crowd, oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, what else do we have here? What else? One last thing related to the Philadelphia Karen. I almost forgot about this. Right now, she's taking a whole lot of heat and, getting a lot of grief. But, this is not to say that everything in her world is bad, okay? Apparently, Hasbro has worked out a deal with her. She's going to get her own little action figure. Who'd have thought? You'd think she's coming out of looking like the bad guy. A toy company reaches out to her. Yeah, apparently she's getting her own action figure made. It's called the Philly Karen. This is the Ball Snatcher edition. And actually, apparently this thing even speaks. Phrases like, I was here first. Let me speak to security. That ball is mine. I don't know if you press the hoodie that she's wearing, if it makes these sounds. It also comes with, a Starbucks cup, a baseball, its own little man purse, whatever. So pocket pouch, whatever you call those things. I don't know. So yeah, if you're looking for a gift, maybe this is a gift that you ought to give to your friends who are maybe on the left side of the political spectrum. You're trying to think of like a birthday gift. You're trying to think of like a Christmas gift, something like that. Maybe this is something that they'd enjoy. Now, wait a minute, Adam. I don't know if this action figure does that. I mean, look, I don't think Hasbro would manufacture a toy that, that does that sort of thing. I mean, that's kind of, but, it's a weird era in which we live. Anyway. Well, now, I don't know if it does that or not. I have no idea if that doll. All I know is what's on the packaging. Okay, if it does a President Donald J. Trump inauguration scream, I have no idea. Maybe it does. Maybe that's an idea for Hasbro. Just saying. Just a thought. All right, what else do we have in the way of the merry memes? I think we got 2 or 3 more here. Ah, yes. I found this one the other day. And I thought, you know what? I have got to share this. This is too good. Ted Nugent, the Motor City Madman, or as we on the right love to refer to him, Uncle Ted. Uncle Ted came up with a really good phrase. And I don't know if he did it just recently or when he did it, but this one's pretty good. When you have friends of yours who disown you over your political beliefs, or maybe even your social beliefs or your religious beliefs, what have you, just remember the words of Uncle Ted when he said the following. You know, I think this is a perspective that we all need to keep in mind. Being unfriended by a liberal is like having garbage that takes itself out. I think Uncle Ted's on to something here, folks. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. There you go. There you go. Words of wisdom from Uncle Ted Nugent, everyone's favorite uncle. Well, one of their favorite uncles anyway. There's Uncle Ted. There's Uncle Alex. There's Uncle Tucker. There's Uncle, there's so many. And then there's Aunt Megan. You know, so many others out there. Oh, goodness me. All right, what else have we got? I think we got a couple more, and then we'll dive into our first stories of the morning. Well, I think it was it TBA or WWG1 over on Rumble pointing out the fact that a lot of people are losing their jobs in the past 2 or 3 days because of their very negative comments regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And Adam, in his infinite Canadian wisdom, came up with the following meme. And you know what? Some memes just speak for themselves. I'm just going to pop this one up here, man. So, oh, really? Wait, hang on a minute. There's a head count now? Somebody's done a head count. They're like over 500 and counting folks have lost their jobs in different industries over their comments. Wow. That's something. Anyway, Adam found this, and I'm just going to pop it right up here, man. Let it speak for itself. So there you go. There you go. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Oh, well, honey, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. So there you go. All right. I think I got one last one. And this one, yeah, I'm just putting this up here. I'm just going to let it because I don't need to say anything else. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I want to thank, as always, WWG1. I want to thank Adam. I want to thank Crash, TBA, everybody who's contributed to the Merry Memes. And yeah, as always, my thanks as the host. I mean, I can do just so much on this live stream, but man, the things that all you guys as audience members contribute, I cannot thank you enough. The memes, the laughs, the super chats, the comments, the insights, the breaking news alerts that we get whenever we get together on these live streams. You know, our audience may not be big, but God, you guys are, if you guys were a band, you'd be, the word is solid. There's not a bad section to this band. And I cannot thank you guys enough for everything that you do for this live stream to make it go and make it be what it is. So anyway, before I start getting weepy here, and believe me, what we're about to watch next is probably going to make all kinds of people cry. But so thank you so very much. All right, let's get into it. Last night, something happened. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little bit surprised that it did. On the other hand, I'm not surprised either. I think it was around, I don't know, maybe 7:30 Eastern when word went out across Twitter that Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, would be making a statement from the Turning Point USA offices in Arizona. Now, I say that I'm not surprised in that I figured sooner or later Erika was going to make a statement. Okay. And I'll be honest with you. This is the first time that I've heard Erika Kirk speak publicly. Maybe others of you have, and that's cool. When I say I'm not surprised, what I mean is this. If Erika was anything like her husband, and is anything like her husband, you know she's going to say something. And frankly, given the circumstances, if she didn't say something, that would be more shocking. And again, I don't know a lot about Erika Kirk's background beyond, what I watched and heard and saw last night. I've also heard it said that she runs a company out of New York City that manufactures and sells clothing, and part of the proceeds from the sales go toward helping homeless people, acquire clothing on their own. That's unconfirmed. I don't know if it's true, but would it surprise me? No, not really. But Erika Kirk made the statement that, hold on, speaking of late breaking, TBA just dropped something in. Hang on, folks. This might be highly, highly, very, very relevant. Give me 1 second here. You see what he's just dropped in my lap. Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you for that, TBA. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about it. I'll save it for a little bit later in the program. Thank you for that. But Erika Kirk, it was announced she was going to speak last night. I'm not surprised. What surprised me, I think, was the timing. And maybe I shouldn't have been surprised by that. I figured, again, not knowing anything about her, I worked from the assumption that maybe she just wanted to take some time, get through the grieving as much as she could, and then make a statement about Turning Point USA, the organization that Charlie founded, make a statement about his future, what would be happening, etc. Oh no. Erika Kirk stepped right up to the plate, brought her best Louisville slugger with her, and came out swinging. And we've got some clips. I want to set it up by reading a little bit of an article from Fox News. Headline: Erika Kirk delivers moving tribute to husband Charlie. Quote, "I will never let your legacy die. Erika Kirk vows keep husband's mission alive," by Alex Shemnel. We have the following. Dateline, Arizona. Erika Kirk, the widow of the late Charlie Kirk, gave an emotional tribute to her husband and declared that his mission will not end at Turning Point USA's headquarters on Friday. It was her first public statement since her husband's assassination on Wednesday at Utah Valley University. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go straight into some of the clips. I've got about 3 or 4 of them set up. And like I said, this is the first time I'd ever heard Erika Kirk speak publicly in any setting, on any topic, on any venue. And I am not going to sit here and make any criticisms at all. Not that there's any criticisms really to make. I'm not going to make any criticisms at all of anything she did last night, because as far as I'm concerned, she is a grieving widow and a grieving mother. How she wants to express that is entirely up to her. Okay? So with that, let's go to some of the clips. And we start off with, man, I'm telling you, I listened to the it was about a 15-minute in toto statement that she made last night. And I listened to it this morning getting ready for the live stream. And I'm not going to lie to you. I sat there at various points, starting to get very teary-eyed. I always like to think of myself as a pretty, hard-nosed individual, but when it comes down to certain things, I'm as emotional as anybody else. And given what this lady has gone through, you cannot help but cry. And frankly, if anybody during this live stream sheds tears, you'll get nothing but love and support from me. But anyway, we got some clips here. And like I say, if you wind up crying hearing some of these, I'm not going to be shocked at all. We'll start first with an expression of what Erika felt was Charlie's, what kind of love he gave to her husband to wife. And with that, here you go.
One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord.
Like I say, I will not, nor do I even have a reason to do so. I am not going to criticize one thing she said or how she said it. She's got every right now to express her grief as she sees fit. But I tell you what, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, such that he'd be willing to lay down his life for it. And oh, man, just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We got 2 or 3 more of those. And there's some question, what's going to happen with Turning Point? Where does it go from here? Well, Erika addressed that last night. And frankly, I think this is one of the best things that could happen. I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to give some commentary about it, and I'll be looking for your comments as well. So here's Erika Kirk on the future of Turning Point USA.
And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue.
Amen.
There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. and his wisdom will endure. My favorite, my favorite too, but my husband's favorite word in the English language was earn. He would call all of you to be people of action who earn the future America deserves. So to all of the young people who felt inspired by my husband's faith and hard work, all of you already know what Charlie would want you to do. You know. You know. If you're in high school or if you're in college, go find your local Turning Point USA chapter. Join it. Stay involved. He wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can.
WWG1 over on Rumble says, reminds me of when Catherine Limbaugh jumped on the radio after Rush's death. Yeah, now that you mention it, that's a good analogy. It really is. I had not thought about that, but man, you're absolutely right. Yeah, TBA says Catherine Limbaugh gave such a moving tribute to Rush. I was in tears, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. No, I don't think anybody should be ashamed to admit that. Like I said, if you don't wind up crying at some point listening to Erika Kirk's speech, be it right now or somewhere down the line, or maybe you cried tears listening to it last night, if you don't cry tears, bless your heart, I love you, but there's something wrong with you. Okay? And the tears aren't fake, nor should they be. And I don't think they are. Here is a woman stepping out on the stage, perhaps more publicly than she's ever thought about doing, or ever thought she would ever need to do. Really what? Let's see, Thursday, Friday? Happened Wednesday. Thursday, maybe about 48 hours after her husband was gunned down in public, speaking not just to the people working at Turning Point USA, but speaking to all kinds of kids across this country, speaking to all kinds of political activists across this nation, and furthermore, around the world. And she's trying to do that on one hand and deal with the grief of losing her husband on the other. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but whether you like Charlie Kirk, dislike Charlie Kirk, agree with him, not agree with him, whatever, you cannot help but admire the grace, the poise, and the courage that Erika Kirk showed last night. I mean, like I say, you want to disagree with her and everything her husband believed in? Fine. That's up to you. But you cannot legitimately deny everything I just said. You can't sit there and say, well, yeah, she, whatever. No. What that woman did in 15 minutes last night took a lot of guts. Especially in the face of everything that backstopped that statement to the public. So the good news is Turning Point USA is going to go on. They will continue to do college tours this fall. They will do rallies. They will do events. They will do speaking engagements. And you know what? That's the best thing could possibly happen. Truly. And here's why I'm saying that. And I'm not necessarily saying anything you guys haven't already thought about, but I think it ought to be given voice. The other side, however you want to define them, however you want to label them, whatever, are operating under a very mistaken belief. Okay? And that is, we shut down Charlie Kirk, we'll shut them up. No. Oh my God, no. To my friends on the other side of the political aisle, okay? And I'm not even talking about the crazy Antifa, blue-haired, mashed potato for brains, numbskulls that are out there doing this violence. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about people who might actually still yet legitimately listen. Okay. If you think that Charlie Kirk no longer going to college campuses, no longer being the head of Turning Point USA, no longer being on social media is going to stop the movement that he represented, you are dumber than a box of rocks. Not only have you amplified it, you've amplified it for years to come. Who was it the other night? I think it was Tyrus on the Greg Gutfeld show. Said, you didn't like Charlie Kirk? Guess what? You probably just made 100,000 more of him. Oh, yeah, and in various forms right now, this is everybody's rallying cry. It's said differently, it's expressed in different ways, but it basically comes down to this. Can't stop us, won't stop us. Exactly, Z Highness. Exactly. To my friends on the left, if you think that Charlie Kirk's death stops what he represents, no, you just amplified it and turned it into a megaphone. It's going to ring out across this nation for years to come. It's ringing out across the world right now. Gypsy referred to the rally, is it called Rally the Kingdom or Save the Kingdom over in Great Britain right now? They are marching in London in the name of free speech. One of the ideals that Charlie Kirk stood up for. It's not stopping, folks. Turning Point USA was going globally. All right, I will check. Crash, I saw your message. I will check that out. Guys, yep. We got to put this one up here. Absolutely. Hang on, Crash. Yeah, you guys on the left are wondering what the elimination of Charlie Kirk truly means? Really? You want to know what it's like? They say that memes are the best expression of what's going on out in the world. Well, you want to know what the elimination of Charlie Kirk means? Let me show you, my friends. Here's what it means. There's already a raging fire on the political right. The death of Charlie Kirk is the gasoline. Y'all know what's going to happen next, right? You know what's going to happen. Or more to the point, you should. This is going to get louder. Voices are going to start speaking who up to now have been afraid to say anything. People who are already speaking are going to become more emboldened. The killer of Charlie Kirk has not silenced one man. He's inspired thousands more. This ain't stopping with Charlie Kirk. WWG1 over on Rumble says, look at what the left did during COVID. The right is fed up. Yeah. Z Highness points out Korea, Japan, even Spain had memorials for Charlie. They're memorializing Charlie in London right now. So no, this ain't stopping. This ain't stopping with Charlie Kirk. Yeah, it's Unite the Kingdom. Thank you. I was trying to remember the exact name of it, and Gypsy, as always, on top of it. Unite the Kingdom. Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people are marching in the streets of London right now. Fair enough. All right, we got a couple more clips of Erika Kirk speaking. And I talked a moment ago about the resolve that people now feel because of what happened to Charlie. His widow sums this up better than I could ever say it. Here you go.
Evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him.
And I have a funny feeling there are going to be a lot of people who follow Charlie. They will not be able to do what Charlie Kirk did. But in their own way, with their own unique God-given talent, they're going to go on to make contributions culturally and politically in this country that nobody ever saw coming. I was on Mike Harlow's live stream the other night, and I had commented, and this was Thursday night, and I'd commented on my live stream, the Thursday night newsroom, that Charlie Kirk did more in 31 years than most people do in a lifetime. I realized after talking with Mike, I was wrong. You realize that Turning Point USA didn't start until 2012? Basically, you're talking 13 years. Charlie Kirk took an organization from a folding chair and a card table in Chicago to being one of the biggest powerhouses domestically and internationally that anybody ever seen. And I don't mean just in the area of politics. Charlie's main focus was going on to college campuses and engaging in debate, challenging ideas, going right into the belly of the beast, the heart of the lion, the mouth of the lion, and challenging liberal orthodoxy. And in 13 years, with a lot of hard work and everything else, he turned a card table folding chair organization into something that America hasn't. I don't know if we've ever seen anything quite like this. Everybody chronicles how the left took over academia. What has not yet been chronicled is how Charlie Kirk started the counterattack. That's going to be a remarkable history when it's written, and I don't think it's not going to be written for a while because I don't think it's done yet. Yeah, he basically quit college, or maybe not even started college, and started Turning Point USA. But Erika's right. This doesn't stop with Charlie. And she's not going to let this die. You know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 In 13 years, look at what he did. And good morning, Courtney. 13 years. And this guy did remarkable things. WWG1 says, I met Charlie in Las Vegas in 2017. My wife and I will always remember that. I still have the shirt I bought from his booth. Socialism sucks, TPUSA. Perfect example of what I'm talking about. Charlie Kirk being there, you guys had the chance to meet him and never will forget the experience. One last clip from Erika Kirk. So it's quite obvious she's not going to let her husband's legacy die. And this one runs real quick. Her personal message to Charlie.
Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. I promise. Oh, Charlie, I love you. I love you, baby. Rest in the arms of our Lord as he blankets you with the words I know your heart always strived to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Like I say, if at some point you don't shed some tears over that speech, I love you. I absolutely love you. But bless your heart, there's something wrong with you. He completed one semester of college and realized, one semester and he was out. And then look what he did for the next 13 years and absolutely changed the world. Yep, totally. So that was Erika Kirk. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Tyler Robinson, the young man who is accused of being the murderer of Charlie Kirk. I got a story here from justthenews.com, and people have wondered, well, how did the FBI find him so fast? Well, from John Solomon at justthenews.com. The FBI and local law enforcement have a storied history of killer manhunts that prove the timetable for arrests are often unpredictable. It took 5 days to capture Luigi Mangione after he gunned down United Healthcare CEO outside of a Manhattan hotel, and about the same time to apprehend the Tarzanov brothers after the Boston Marathon bombing. Unabomber Ted Kaczynski roamed free for 17 years and 314 days before his capture in 1996, while Centennial Park bomber Eric Rudolph was arrested 6 years and 10 months after detonating a bomb that marred the 1996 Summer Olympics, just a few months after Kaczynski's apprehension. So here's basically what Solomon goes on to give is the timeline for how they found him. And it goes like this. 2:23 on Wednesday, September 10th, Charlie Kirk was shot at Utah Valley University. On Thursday at 11 a.m., Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, learns of photo evidence and orders its release. At 9:50 on the same day, Governor Spencer Cox holds press conference updating the alleged shooter, updating information. At midnight, U.S. Marshals apprehend Robinson in western Utah after his father and youth minister contact authorities. Sources confirmed to Just the News the suspect was in custody. This is Friday morning. And then at 10:03 on Friday morning, Utah Governor Spencer Cox holds a press conference announcing the capture of Robinson. So there you go. Relatively quick. Maybe too much so. And all right. Okay. But he's still got to be proven guilty in court. I'm just saying. Although I don't think that's going to be that hard to do from the sound of it. So that's the timeline. Now I've got something here from CNN, and I want to pop this up on screen. Normally I don't give CNN much credit for anything, but the suspect was radicalized in a fairly short amount of time, Utah governor says. By CNN's Taylor Romine, we have the following. Tyler Robinson, the suspect in Charlie Kirk's murder, was radicalized, quote, in a fairly short amount of time, says Utah Governor Spencer Cox, but gave no details. While speaking with CNN's Anderson Cooper, he said, quote, nothing stands out the way you would normally expect. You know, this is a good family, Governor Cox added. A normal childhood, all those things that you would hope would never lead to something like this, and sadly it did. Which sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Yeah, and this is a good point. This is a real good point. FBI, I won't say they were handed this guy up on a platter, but you can make a pretty good argument they were. Yeah. And you're not the only one that feels that way, Gypsy. A lot of people feel that way. TBA says only 33 hours to capture him. Yeah. Now, all right, 21, 22-year-old kid is now in custody for the murder of Charlie Kirk. By all accounts, kid comes from a relatively good home. How does something like this happen? How does a kid, and I'm not taking away any responsibility that he should bear for this, okay? So don't misunderstand me here. But how does a kid, or any kid for that matter, you know, grows up in a home of, you know, fairly conservative values, and then all of a sudden, you know, they turn into this? Benny Johnson made a statement the other day on Megyn Kelly's show, and I tell you what, this one bears listening to. So let me get this popped up here for you guys. Benny's got a pretty good take on this, so do me a favor, check this out.
And the playbook is quite simple. You demonize at a corporate media level. You call everyone Hitler and fascist and irredeemable and deplorable. Then you fund groups to organize against those people who you've demonized. Then you arm them. You ensure that they have a militia-style mindset. This is done through TikTok and mass formation psychosis and the allowance of left-wing violence and the promotion of Luigi-style left-wing murderous terrorism. You lionize and venerate like the transgender shooter that just massacred children in Minneapolis. You hop people up on pharmaceuticals and drugs to make them out of their mind. And then you say, you'd be a hero if you went and shot Hitler. And that's the playbook.
Now, all right, let's just assume for a moment. Oh, yeah, I've heard that same thing. Oh, man, now, okay. Remember how I said that we have no idea what's been loosed yet? TBA over on Rumble just posted something from Turning Point USA. And I want to read this. Prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination, they had 9,000 college chapters across the country and 1,100 high school chapters, local chapters of Turning Point USA. Since Charlie's death, Turning Point USA has received 18,000 new chapter requests. Actually, no, I take that back. It's not since Charlie's death. It's since Erika Kirk spoke last night. Guys, this is extraordinary. No, I'm sorry. TBA, you're right. I stay corrected. Since she spoke last night, Turning Point USA has received over 18,000 new requests to start a chapter on their campus. Matter of fact, let me pop this up here just to show sourcing on it. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, this is from an official at Turning Point USA. And this is from a text message that they shared with someone. Let me get this up on screen. Here we go. 18,000 new requests to start a chapter of Turning Point USA, either on a college campus or in high school somewhere across this country. Maybe even around the world. Who knows? Who knows? But most of it's going to be here in the United States. That's amazing. That is just amazing. And yeah, that's about 1,000 per hour. About 1,000 per hour. Extraordinary. Just extraordinary. But let's go back to what Benny Johnson was saying. He lays out the playbook perfectly. Now, that sort of begs the question, is there anybody out there making inflammatory statements, putting stuff in people's minds, making them think that, people like Charlie Kirk are Nazis and fascists and that sort of thing? Could that really be happening? I mean, that seems like a little bit of a stretch. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Benny had this guy in mind when he was talking about, using inflammatory language. Maybe he had Chris Murphy, senator from Connecticut, in mind when Chris Murphy said this.
Our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire right now. So, yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
When I hear that, I wonder is there enough people that believe that same thing? And until you get more to believe that may be why the Democrats aren't rowing in the same direction yet.
You can't get people to believe it if you don't act like it.
Yeah, and all the problems in this country come from the political right. Has nothing to do with people like Chris Murphy. No. He's just out there fighting to save democracy. Save it from what, Senator Murphy? Please tell me, what is it that you seem to think that you're trying to save here? And save it from whom? And save it from what? And the need to save democracy in your mind justifies whatever needs to be done? Do you not have any contemplation of what that kind of language is causing people to do? Of course you do. You know exactly what it means, and I'll get to that in just 1 second. But, someone, I can just see it now. Someone's going to make the statement, and that's a great point, TBA. He means save their democracy, not the republic. But I can just see now. Someone's going to say, come on, Brian. Come on. Chris Murphy is an isolated example. You can't say that he's representative of the thinking of people on the left. Okay, really? Really? All right. Okay. All right. Tell you what. Let's do this. So Chris Murphy's just an isolated example, huh? Really? Okay. Well, hang on 1 second, folks. I'll get this right here in 1 moment. That's not the one I'm looking for. Hosting problems. Yeah. So Chris Murphy's just an isolated example, right? Right.
Let me ask you tonight.
Here's a montage of various Democrat politicians and folks in the press who are self-identified as being on the political left. Okay. Oh yeah, he's right. You're absolutely right, Gypsy. He did. But someone at least is identifying it. Hang on. Okay. Oh, you want that Chris Murphy link? Okay, hang on a minute. Hang on just a second, sir. Let me see. Don't tell me I got rid of it. Hang on. One moment, sir. I will be happy to drop that Chris Murphy link. Let me find it here real fast. Give me 1 second. Hang on. Almost got it. Just one moment, folks. That's what I get for getting rid of something too quick. Darn it. Where are you? Hang on. Oh, he wants the link on. Oh, duh. Hang on. Then I'll give him that one right now. I'm trying to read the chat. Thank you. Okay. There it is. Sorry about that. Yeah, but this is, as a matter of fact, I'll give you another one too. Here we are. There you go. So is Chris Murphy just some kind of an isolated example? Well, okay. Let's see about that. Well, if Chris Murphy's an isolated example, then someone's going to have to explain all the rest of this. So, folks, check them out. And keep in mind, these have been going on for years.
Let me ask you tonight. Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Really? So Chris Murphy's an isolated example of this. Okay. I'll play a little bit of one more for you guys. And it's not just politicians. It's pundits. It's activists. I got one here, and again, I won't play the whole thing. It's 5 minutes long. But you're wondering why people are like this kid may have gotten the ideas that he had? Folks, you don't believe me? Check it out.
We have to start calling his supporters racist as well. That MAGA symbol has come to represent something. It is the new Nazi symbol. It is the new hood.
Because they're not a party.
right? They're Sinn Féin to the IRA. They're the PLO to Hamas. They're a dime store front for a terrorist movement.
The Republican Party is basically a domestic terrorist cell at this point, and they should be treated as such.
There are elements of the GOP that are starting to look like the jihadists.
Not a political party. They're a white nationalist movement. They're a fascist threat to our nation. That's not hyperbolic. That's academic.
Would have once seemed hyperbolic, but it increasingly does feel like the Republican Party has become a death cult, and it's all about Donald Trump.
There is no alternative right now because the Republican Party project today is a fascist authoritarian project.
Fact is, Republicans in Congress are still in the grip of the ultra MAGA agenda.
Party of dupes, party of knuckleheads, party of weirdos, party of freaks. So that is a simple message. And underneath that, it's the party of nothing.
It has become an authoritarian embracing cult. It is fascist.
We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in the Congress of the United States.
Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye, just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and
The old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, and you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that graduate student, it does look like a Gestapo operation. You know, my dad served in Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis.
Because if we just roll this clock on the wall back 75 years, we'd be looking at a time in Nazi Germany where people ran around with signs like this new ICE sign that says, report all foreign invaders to ICE, with Uncle Sam there holding up the sign. This could have been a Gestapo member 75 years ago. Report all Jews.
It's not just.
And I could go on and on and on with it. Yeah, and such a great point. Dehumanization makes it so easy to unalive your enemies. and the left wonders, why we are where we are. No, actually, they don't wonder. I think it's more the question of the right. Good morning, Kawan. Glad to have you in the house with us this morning, my friend. And we on the right wonder, how did we get here? Well, you know, when you got 10 years, 20 years or more of this, gee, no wonder you got some sick people out there who are thinking what they're thinking, and now they're willing to act on it. WWG1 sent me a meme this morning, and I saved it just for right here. So this one's probably going to get me in Dutch with YouTube, but you know what? Needs to be. It's fair game discussion. I am not taking credit for its content. I'm not taking credit for its creation. So with that, here you go.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not using climate change? Yes.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
She's a genuine danger to American security.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
We have to preserve our democracy or speak out against lies and hate.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy. Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms.
Kamala needs to stop saying that President Trump is a threat to democracy. It's now being received by some unhinged people as a call to action. Enough is enough.
Now, that meme was created by Brendan Dilley and his meme team. And so, like I say, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble with YouTube over that one. So I'll clip it out later if I need to. But you kind of get the point. A couple other thoughts as it relates to this young man, Tyler Robinson. Okay. I think it was Lana who made the statement, this kid got radicalized in college. You're not the only one thinking the same thing. I got a clip here from Chase Gettr, who was hosting for Alex Jones. Folks, I want you to listen to this. Listen to this background on this kid. And then you guys tell me, do you think the college radicalized him or was it something else?
Seems like a normal middle-class family. He's a dorky kid. He's a dweeby kid. He's got a mind for engineering. Look, we've got his ACT scores right here. He had a composite score of 35. I believe a perfect score is, a composite score of 34. I believe a perfect score is 36. And you can look, I mean, it's going to be hard to see a little bit in this overhead cam because this is lower resolution, but 99% in math. That means he missed like one question. 96% in science. He probably missed two questions. His STEM, 98%. 96% in English, 100% in reading. Then the writing and the other elements are manual. State rank, 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 97th percentile, 99th percentile, 98th percentile, 100th percentile. Did better than virtually everyone else in the entire state on reading comprehension. So this is somebody who's very bright in the gaming community, studying, I assume, engineering because he's standing outside the engineering building. Received a scholarship to go to this university, and something happened as he's now 22 years old, while he was in one of our higher education institutions, that radicalized him to the point where he felt like this was an acceptable or just or good thing to do.
Yeah. Something happened to this kid. Yeah. Good point, sir. Good morning, Ruben. Yeah. Absolutely. WWG1 over on Rumble says, sometimes the most intelligent people can be brainwashed the easiest. True. So true. I mean, kid had no political affiliation. He wasn't a registered anything. And that's confirmed by his voting record. But there is one thing, and I got to bring this up. And I am not, what I'm about to say next, I am not trying to be conspiratorial about this, but there's just one thing. Not just one thing. There's a couple of things. One of them I don't have a real answer to. Well, let me back that up. I don't have a real good answer for either one of them, but there's one thing in particular I don't quite understand. I want to show you guys something. Okay. Let me pop this up on screen. This is video, and you guys have probably seen it, of the shooter running, Tyler Robinson. Oh, you're not the only one, dear. You're not the only one. This is footage of Tyler Robinson allegedly running across the roof and jumping off. I want you to watch this and tell me, let me put it this way. Tell me what you don't see. Okay. So there it goes. You can see him running. Okay, he's running. Camera backs off a little bit. That glare gets out. There he is, right there. He's got a backpack. All right. Drops the bag, drops himself, lands in the grass. Okay. Takes off running. Okay. All right. Again. He's got a bag. He's got himself. What don't you see? Okay. Question. Where's the rifle? Where's the rifle? Now, exactly, that's the question I'm asking. TBA's asking the same thing. Where'd the rifle go? Great question. And by the way, we're not the only ones asking this question. Well, all right. Supposedly, this kid breaks down the rifle, okay, and has part of it in his backpack and part of it down his pant leg. All right. Now, and maybe that's what happened. Okay. Again, I am not trying to put disinformation. Yeah, well, this is the story. They say he took it apart on the roof, reassembled it in the woods, all on the run from the FBI. Does that strike anybody as being weird? Seriously, does that strike somebody as being weird? TBA says, I didn't know you could take a 30-06 and break it down in seconds. Maybe I don't know how to do that properly. Well, if you don't, well, brother, and I'm not a gun expert, but I didn't even know you could break down a 30-06. I always thought they were a solid one-piece rifle, more or less. Well, and you know what? Funny you bring this up, Gypsy. Michael Savage was commenting on this, and he's got much the same thought we do, is that, come again with that? He's got much the same question. Hang on a second here. And I want to pop this up on screen because this is worth a listen. And again, you can disagree with Michael Savage if you want to, but he's thinking the same thing. And with that, here you go.
Press conference by the so-called FBI. Something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it.
Now, again, it is my hope that the truth comes out in all of this, okay? But I think Michael Savage has a perfectly valid point. Other people who've been chiming in on this as well. Let's stop and think about this for 1 second. And again, with the understanding of the background, he may legitimately be the person who killed Charlie Kirk, and he may have done everything that is alleged in the timeline in which he was supposed to have done it. However, let me get this straight. This kid takes a rifle, fully assembled rifle, up on the roof, fires off one shot, after firing said shot, with adrenaline pumping through his body that in amounts and that are unimaginable. You have fear, excitement, everything, adrenaline pumping. He fires off this shot, disassembles the rifle, puts part of it in his backpack, the other part down his pant leg. In however many seconds that takes, goes running across the roof, climbs down from this building, goes running out into the woods, but stops long enough to reassemble the rifle and leaves it laying there with the distinct possibility that someone's going to find it. Okay, this is fair. I agree with you. And I'm not trying to jump to a conclusion here, so don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying that's a little hard to swallow. Look, I will freely confess, as much as I love the Second Amendment, I am not an expert on handguns or rifles, okay? I leave that to people who've got way more time and way more expertise than I do. But even on its face, knowing as little as I know about guns, that whole scenario that I just described does not make a whole lot of sense. Okay? And again, I am not trying to stir the pot. I'm not trying to do disinformation. I'm not trying to do anything else. But that's weird. The kid fires off one shot. He's equal amounts of fear and adrenaline are running through his system. He breaks down a rifle that, according to reports, is not easily broken down, puts the two parts in two different places on his person, climbs off the roof, goes running through the woods. Lord only knows what having a gun barrel down your pant leg is going to do for your ability to run, gets to the woods, reassembles said rifle, leaves it laying for everybody else, and goes running out the other side of the woods. Huh? Why would... here's a question that I have. Why would you stop long enough to reassemble the rifle? Why not just keep on trucking? Get way, way, way far away from the scene of the crime, and then if you want to dispense with the rifle, drop one part of it in one place, drop another part somewhere else. To me, that would make more sense. I mean, if you're going to get rid of the gun. He also changed his clothes on the roof. Yeah, if he did that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Gypsy. I mean, if he did that, then you got to add that factor into the amount of time it would have taken for him to get off the roof. So he's going to break down the rifle, change his clothes, and then go running off the roof. Robert says, hang on, let me find Robert's other comment. If it was a Mauser rifle. Yeah, supposedly what Tyler Robinson fired off was a Mauser 30-06. And according to people who know guns, it's not easy to break that rifle down if you even can do it. Even if it was an AR platform, that story wouldn't make any sense. But they see, that's my problem here. And by the way, no, don't worry. It's all good, dear. It's all good. But yeah, I'm like you guys. I think this guy had help. Whoever did this, if it was Tyler Robinson, he had accomplices, which begs the question. I go back to another factor about this. How did he know exactly where Charlie Kirk was going to be positioned in order for him to take that shot? I mean, did they have some kind of a roped off thing that said this area reserved for TPUSA event on Wednesday, September 10th? How do we know, or how did he know where Charlie Kirk would be sitting such that he positioned himself in such a way to have a clean line of sight? Okay. All right. I could accept that. I could accept that possibility. Okay. TBA says, if that guy did change clothes on the roof, why don't we see that in the video? Well, maybe the camera angle was such that he did it in a place where no picture of it would be taken. WWG1 says, it's interesting we don't have a ballistics report yet. Wouldn't that take more than 24 hours? Charlie was already in a coffin. Good point. Good point. Mr. Scott Awesome says, not the story I heard. From what I heard, he threw it off the roof and semi near the trees that they are supposedly calling a forest. Okay. Again, I would be remiss if I didn't ask these questions. And maybe that's what the government wants. Don't ask too many questions, accept the narrative and move on. I'm sorry. I just think it's reasonable to ask these things. No, I am not going to stop asking questions, sir. Not at all. I'm going to ask these questions. I think they should be asked. I really do. And just like I say, it just, something about this just does not jive. It really doesn't. Now, you would also think, or one would hope, let me put it that way. One would hope that Democrat politicians, at the very least, okay, one would hope that Democrat politicians would, stop and pause, maybe reflect on the fact that maybe they should change their rhetoric. To salty old farts in the house. And then goes and tells his sheriff deputy dad that he killed Charlie. Good morning, my friends. Good morning, Salty. You would think the Democrat politicians at least would pause long enough to consider whether their words are influencing people in a bad way. Well, my response to that is, to borrow a line from Dante's Inferno, abandon hope, all ye who enter here. No, the Democrats have no intention of backing off their rhetoric. Matter of fact, they don't even acknowledge that they had anything to do with it. You don't believe me? Oh, get ready, folks. Jasmine Crockett, hopefully soon to be out of a job thanks to Texas redistricting, had the following words of wisdom to say with regard to all this. So, folks, do me a favor, and as always, check this out.
We've got to talk about what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about that. That is next level. Mm-hmm. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, beat them up and that kind of stuff, you are promoting a culture of violence. So we need to talk about what it looks like when you don't promote a culture of violence.
Excuse me, madam, I have a question. Who's telling anybody on our side to beat somebody up? Would you like to give me a specific example of that? I'd like to hear it. I really would. But I think the one that absolutely just boggles the mind is Nancy Pelosi. And if you didn't see this yet, folks, get ready because this is, oh yeah, that's right. Maxine Waters did tell people to go out and beat people up, get in their face and harass them. That's right, WWG1. I forgot about that. Oh, you want your blood to boil, Crash? Get ready, brother. Get ready. Hang on. Your blood's really going to boil. Nancy Pelosi, in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, was asked about her remarks, or any Democrats' remarks for that matter. Folks, get ready because you're going to get mad.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous.
Really? Really? Oh, so you guys are just totally innocent on anything you say. But you know what? Let me let you continue. Please, Go right ahead.
But we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
I want to play that again in its entirety. One more time. Here you go.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Oh, no. We're not responsible for how people react to our words. Oh, no, not at all. They're acting all on their own. We have nothing to do with it. Our hands are clean. Really? Now, let's stop and think about that for just a second. Let us consider for a moment. If politicians are not responsible for how people react because of their words, how come you and your Democrats for decades have been making just an absolute political fortune off of blaming Republicans for every bad act that happens, that we incite the violence, that we are the ones that are causing people to go out and do things that are bad in your opinion? You don't mind labeling Republicans and people on the political right for being guilty of the very same thing that you say you're innocent of. Well, I'm sorry, former Speaker Pelosi. If you Democrats are innocent in that when you say something, you can't be held responsible for what people do, then you can no longer accuse Republicans of the same thing. You cannot ever do that again, because somebody's going to throw this tape back up in your face, and well, they should. And by the way, somebody pointed that out the other night. So Charlie Kirk gets shot. Where are all the riots? There weren't any. Where was the fire bombings? There weren't any. Where was the violence in the streets? There wasn't any. Charlie Kirk got murdered, and people of his same political persuasion reacted peacefully. George Floyd dies from a fentanyl overdose in the custody of police, and you all tried to burn down God knows how many cities in 2020. Please do not equate one thing to the other. They are not the same. The people are not the same. The mentality is not the same. I don't ever want to hear another Democrat ever again blame anybody on the political right saying that their language is inciting violence. If you guys on the left are not going to take responsibility for your words that quite obviously are feeding into some very feeble-minded people such that they're going out based on your language and committing all kinds of atrocity, don't you ever again blame me or anybody else on the political right for what is said. That argument now rings hollow. 34 cities burned in 2020, TBA says. And absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah. What did people do when Charlie Kirk was murdered? They prayed. They held vigils. And then Erika Kirk gave a speech, and not at one point in that 15-minute speech did she call for violence. As a matter of fact, she gave an invitation to the gospel. She spoke about the need for people to come to Jesus and to deal with the question of their eternal souls. Yeah, we didn't even take down statues, for heaven's sake. So you folks on the left trying to lecture all of us about how we do or don't do, shut up. You have nothing to say. Matter of fact, I got one clip and God love her. She is absolutely one of my, well, no, I'll go ahead and play the clip. Megyn Kelly. Yeah, and I love Megyn for a number of different reasons. But man, Megyn Kelly these days is absolutely on fire. I want you to watch this. And if y'all are sitting there, getting mad over thinking about what Nancy Pelosi just said, here's somebody who's articulating your anger maybe better than you or I could, or all of us could together. Check this out.
I've got to play this soundbite of this asshole, Nate Burleson, on CBS this morning, interviewing former Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy about the assassination earlier this week.
Not everyone took to his words or his rhetoric. At times, they were offensive to specific communities. But with that said, this is not the time to focus on that. We are focused on this tragedy. Speaking of this tragedy, is this a moment for your party to reflect on political violence? Is it a moment for us to think about the responsibility of our political leaders and their voices and what it does to the masses as they get lost in misinformation or disinformation that turns in and spills into political violence?
You absolute asshole. What a dick. Is this a time for your party, Mr. Former Republican Speaker, to reflect on political violence? Whose candidate almost got his head blown off a year ago? You total fucking douchebag. My God. It's time for Republicans to reflect on political violence, that your party and your leader needs to reflect on his rhetoric, Have you taken a look at Blue Sky?
She's not wrong. Forget just Blue Sky. Have you folks on the left taken a look at Twitter or TikTok or any of these places? Are you watching MSNBC? Are you listening to CNN? There is more vitriol being spewed on a nightly basis, on an hourly basis, depending on what social media platform you're talking about. We out Reddit. Throw Reddit into it. Okay? And you're trying to lecture us about, is this a time for you to reflect on the rhetoric that may be causing political violence? Excuse me, the political violence is one-sided. It's coming from the left toward the right. Let me let you in on a little secret for those of you out there, you lefties. We don't go around committing political violence. We don't do riots. We don't burn down businesses. We don't burn down homes. We don't take down cities. Like Kawan said, we don't even take down statues. We march peacefully. We vote. We try to persuade. Which, by the way, what Charlie Kirk was trying to do when he got shot and killed, he was trying to persuade. He was trying to make people think. And for that, which you, by the way, have said you've wanted for years, Charlie Kirk gave you what you said you wanted, an open dialogue. We're reaching across the aisle. And what did he get for it? Murdered. Do not lecture me or anybody else ever again about what our language does or doesn't do. Until you go look in the mirror and search your own souls, shut up. You have nothing to say to me. You have nothing to say to anybody else. We're not the ones committing political violence in this country. Antifa is committing the political violence in this country. BLM is committing the political violence in this country. Some really messed up, weak-minded, drug-addled people are committing the violence in this country. It's not coming from the political right. Do not try to equate one to the other. Forget it. We ain't buying it. Nor should we buy it, because it's not true. And here's one thought. Here's a thought from our friend, Dinesh D'Souza. He makes an absolutely fantastic point. Charlie Manson didn't murder anyone, but he convinced his followers that it was fine, even obligatory to do so. Are today's professors training a new generation of young people to pursue political objectives by any means necessary, including assassination? That's a fair question. As a matter of fact, I think it was TBA who sent me, hang on a minute, and that kind of leads to this. Let me get this pulled up on screen, and with this, we're going to bring the train into the station. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So true. So true indeed. TBA sent me this a little bit earlier. This is from NBC News. After Charlie Kirk's death, teachers and professors nationwide fired or disciplined over social media posts. At least a dozen faculty and staff have faced fallout over insensitive comments online. Following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk this week, educators from across the country have found themselves facing swift termination or potential discipline after allegedly sharing opinions on social media about the killing. At least a dozen faculty and staff, from school board officials to classroom teachers, have been met with fallout for insensitive posts about Kirk's death. In at least 2 instances, universities fired staff members entirely for posts deemed inappropriate. Many other educators have been suspended or are under investigation, and the number is likely to grow as conservative online influencers share screenshots. And they go on to give examples about this. You know what? Frankly, here's the way I look at it. If a university or a school deems that ought to happen, okay. Because remember what the left always told us, words are violence. Hey, you're getting a taste of your own medicine. Now look, if someone wants to express an opinion about the murder of Charlie Kirk, okay. And you know what? Someone made an absolutely fabulous point the other day. No one is expecting everybody to get teary-eyed over the murder of Charlie Kirk. Okay, should we pause that a human life has been lost? Yeah. But, no one's expecting everyone to cry over Charlie Kirk. What we are expecting is that whether you agreed with him or disagreed with him, you at least have the good decency to be respectful. And these comments that are being made, most of them are beyond the pale. Okay? Whether they should be fired, not fired, that's up to the institution that they work for. But, yeah, it's happening. WWG1 says on Rumble, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. TBA says words and actions generate consequences. The lefties don't like the consequences they're reaping. Oh, so very true. So very true. Now, and you know what, Robert? I agree with this. I agree. I got no problem with this. And no one should lose their job over free speech. Okay? And do they have the right to be as distasteful as they want to? Yeah. Yeah, and guess what? Unfortunately, they've got the right to say it. Should they lose their job over it? Well, okay. Do I think they should? No. But it's happening. I mean, we've all been saying it in one form or another for the past 3 days. The political left in this country has no idea the blowback that's about to happen short and long term as a consequence of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're only just now beginning to realize what's coming. And it ought to scare them to death. I did see that. I also saw stories about, Camden County, New Jersey. And I've also heard about Los Angeles, California. Matter of fact, you guys were dropping it in chat this morning. They're refusing to fly their flags at half staff despite an order from the president. Good point. Good point indeed. TBA says over on Rumble, it does, the consequences of what Charlie Kirk's death, it does scare them to death. That's why they're calling for unity. Oh yeah, because they don't want anybody focusing on what they've done to contribute to this. Absolutely not. All right. Tell you what, it's 12:30, and you guys, it's the weekend. You guys need to get to enjoying life. Here's some advice for what it's worth. Tell somebody you love them. Give them a hug. Go check on somebody you haven't seen in a while. Make sure they're doing okay. You know, let's try and find a way to get through this as best we can. In the meanwhile, we will be back Tuesday night, 7 p.m. for the Tuesday night newsroom. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on. If you find stories, share them. Okay. Tag me on Twitter with it. All right. And in the meanwhile, you guys have yourselves a great rest of the weekend. Go watch some college football. Yes, this Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We will be here. We will be checking out what's going on. So Tuesday night, 7 p.m., the Tuesday night newsroom. In the meanwhile, have a great rest of your weekend. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Leave a comment, share the link, do all that crazy stuff, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You know you want to do it anyway. With that, have yourselves a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy some football, and also remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, more money." Love you guys. We'll see you Tuesday night at 7.